Who are the coolest dudes on the planet?
United States veterans.
What's the coolest sport on the planet?
Pro wrestling.
And what would be the coolest podcast on the planet? That would be this one.
U.S. military vets talking pro wrestling.
This is the No Shave Man Cave. Two badass disabled vets sharing their love of pro wrestling, giving you their perspective as fans, talking about current events and matches, history of titles, and who knows what else. Let's do it.
Welcome to the No Shave Man Cave. Now your hosts, ElliJar and Jay Tilly.
All right, No Shave Man Cave fans. I am doing the intro this time, so you're not getting Jared's elegant intro that he has mastered. There is a reason for that. So I will start with welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, sports entertainment fans, and wrestling fans. We're here. Going to try to do a Friday review with a not so consistent wrestling fan. Jared is off scuba diving with his wife and enjoying some time off, but we wanted to make sure we got some content out for you guys and gals. So we brought back the Georgia Tickler. Jeremy's up here. Jeremy's up here giving us a hand. He, as you may know, was on our special, never forgotten 22nd of the month mental health awareness episode. In that episode, after our mental awareness part, we talked some wrestling, and he kind of got a little into it, maybe. Went back and watched some stuff. I asked him if he wanted to watch some highlights of SmackDown and Rampage and get on here and talk with me tonight so we can get some content out. So let's first start off with what your adventures were in wrestling after we had our talk and what you went back and watched and what you thought about, and then we'll jump into Friday.
Yeah. All right. So glad to be here, first off. As far as what my adventures were, first I went back and watched Royal Rumble, which I will give this to WWE. They're really good at replaying the build-up. So, like, before they have the matches, they always replay what led up to it. So it got me caught up somewhat on the Bloodline stuff, because I know you had recommended that as, like, being the big draw right now for WWE. And then, just gave me some more background on other stuff. So I watched the Royal Rumble. I actually liked the Royal Rumble match. I know you were kind of on it. I did enjoy that, but overall, the pay-per-view kind of got me like, okay, I like what they did. I like the Bloodline stuff, so let me watch some more. I haven't covered a problem with the network. They do not show the episodic stuff until 30 days later. So I am not able, because we are cord cutters, to actually watch SmackDown or Raw live. So I'm still trying to figure that out. I may not be able to. Okay. I may just have to watch recaps and stuff, but I'm definitely going to be watching all the pay-per-views going forward, because I am somewhat enjoying it. I'll probably watch it after the fact so I can fast-forward the boarding parts.
Yep.
Because, unfortunately with AEW, I have not been able to see any of it because they don't have any streaming options. Yep. Unfortunately, the best I could do in order to be able to do this one here was to watch a recap. It let me see some of the really good parts, not that there were that many, which we'll get into in a minute, of Rampage. But yeah, unfortunately, until they get their act together with streaming, I'm not going to be able to watch AEW. There's no way to do it. The TNT and TBS, you have to have a cable or satellite subscription in order to watch their streaming services. Yep. So it is what it is.
AEW is. There's a couple rumors. One of them is they're going to go to Paramount Plus. They should be getting on that platform, is one of the rumors. Some of the other rumors are they're just going to merge it with their Ring of Honor that they've just launched, which will be another subscription service. If you're, that means you got to pay for it behind a paywall. I think Tony Khan will probably try to do it with like HBO Max or Paramount. Those are kind of the two that keep coming up. Disney's also been in play, just for some background knowledge. ESPN Plus now carries AEW for out of Argentina and some other countries outside of the United States.
Okay.
So they're already building that partnership with ESPN and Disney. So could see it on that coming soon. So who knows? So that might give you the ins.
It would probably end up on Hulu.
Yeah, Hulu.
Most likely.
The only thing is Hulu's got a contract with or they used to. Let me say this.
I don't think.
Yeah, I was going to say that might have lapsed.
I've been on I've been on Hulu, and they do not have any wrestling content
Okay.
whatsoever. So
Yeah, because they used to play
I'm free. They used,
the Raw on there. They used to play Raw on the day after on
yeah,
Hulu.
yeah. Because I went looking for another option. I was like, maybe it's on Hulu. Nope. So there's no way to see WWE episodics other than waiting 30
Yeah.
days. There's no way. So I'm guessing that deal must lapse, and they're probably working on something else,
I could see Hulu picking up
either with
AEW. That wouldn't
Peacock
be a bad
or.
idea.
But I think, especially if they go Disney, because Disney has that deal with
Yep.
Hulu, so that's where they tend to do their live stuff. As of right now, as far as I know, Disney Plus has not broached into live stuff. Usually, the stuff that comes on there is quite
Yeah.
delayed, whether it's a movie. Their TV series are just the standard streaming series where they either put the whole season up or it's episode at a time. So I don't see that, and I could see it. And plus, ESPN also has their own subscription
Yep.
service, ESPN Plus. So it could end up on there. So we'll just have to wait and
Yeah, we'll
see.
see. It's coming.
I'm hopeful because I'm very interested in AEW. Last night was not the best
No,
example.
no. I think there was one match last night that was. Well, we can get into that. So yeah,
Yeah.
hell, let's start with Rampage. So I did watch Rampage, front to back live. This is the second Rampage. Actually, this is the third AEW. No, this is both AEW shows this week where I didn't give them a rewatch. I thought Rampage, or I thought Dynamite, as the title in the podcast said, was the drizzling shizits. I did not enjoy. I did not enjoy
I saw
Dynamite
that.
at all. And then it kind of followed over into Rampage. There were some ups and downs. As far as Rampage match wise, the first match with Sammy Guevara and Action Andretti was okay, except they just did that last week and it was the exact same match I felt. And then with the
Yeah.
interference and stuff, the man, I think that's even it. Like there was a squash match with the Acclaimed.
There was.
Um,
I feel like there was only like 3
yeah,
matches.
usually it's only an hour long, so it's a short show.
Yeah. I think they did like
Yep.
3 matches.
And I can't even remember what the main event was. The only thing I remember personally that wasn't up for me that I wanted to talk about, which for you as a Laps fan, just getting back into it, probably not a big deal, but I did appreciate the Mark Briscoe coming out with the Ring of Honor announcement, the tag titles. So just some background for you. His brother, Jay Briscoe, they won the titles a couple months ago, and his brother passed away in a car accident recently.
Ooh.
So he's been carrying both titles around. Pretty emotional. They did some tribute shows. It was a big deal. And I thought that was kind of cool that they're going to do. And Reach for the Sky was their big catchphrase. So the fact that they're doing a Reach for the Sky tag team thing. And then the Lucha Brothers, you know, one of my favorite tag teams. I got their autographs up there and I got a bunch of their masks over there.
Yeah.
So I like that they're in that. That and the first match were probably the only two things I appreciated that kind of kept me going. I'm sitting there struggling to even remember most of it. So I'm curious though, because you said you shook your head when I said the Sammy match. So I'm curious what you thought was the good match.
Yeah. Actually, I thought that match was extremely boring. It was technically good, but just boring.
Okay.
It didn't really highlight their personalities. It just was boring.
Okay.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was just
There.
It was there. I don't even remember the second match.
Yeah, I don't either. And I don't have the card.
I don't remember. I know there was 3. Mine was a women's match. It was. I looked at it. You look at it at the front and you see it. And I'm trying to remember their names.
Hold on, I'll look it up real quick.
She's a beast.
Oh no, yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot that match. Yeah, Rio and
that was a great match.
Oh my gosh, yeah, absolutely, that was the highlight of the night.
Yeah,
I don't believe I forgot that.
Seeing this little 98-pound
Rio,
Asian girl go up against this, I'm totally expecting she's going to wipe the floor with her. That was a great match.
Yeah, so they
that was really, really good. It was technically good. They put on a great performance.
Oh man, I can't believe I blamed that one. Yeah, that was fantastic.
Yeah, the interference was timed well. Everything they really sold that match. It was great. Every moment of it was just really, really well done. It shocked me to see this tiny little girl put up a fight, but like when they do that kind of stuff, like they've had so many like back in the day with like Rey Mysterio going up against Big Show or Undertaker or something like that, and they always sell the little guy and the big guy, but they sold that where I actually believed she could pull off the stuff she did.
Yeah,
and that impressed the hell out of me.
yep. The cross body attempts over and over again. Like she did what
Hmm.
3 times, and then finally the third time it worked. The other 2 times she just caught her.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can't believe I didn't even. Oh my gosh, I'm embarrassed. Yeah, that match was
yeah.
phenomenal. So her name is Riho, and she was either the first or second AEW's women champion, and Nyla Rose, the one she was up against, was either the first or second. Like they traded it back and forth, and just yeah, Nyla's awesome. Like I wish both of them were on TV more. Yeah, I thought that was a great match. I can't. I guess maybe for one reason I thought it was on Dynamite, but you're right. It was Rampage, and phenomenal match. The storytelling in the match, the Rio, the
Yeah.
underdog. Well, I'm chuckling when you say that because, like, I wish you could go back and watch some of their old stuff. I cannot wait till they get their streaming service to be like, hey, Jared, go find this match, and this match if you really like the Riho, because they had a whole feud for a while, and Riho is really good at that underdog, coming up from behind, fighting from underneath. She did a great match like 3 or 4 weeks ago against Jamie Hayter, the champion, and it was great. She's had a great match with Britt Baker. Yeah, she's phenomenal. She is a prodigy of Kenny Omega's. So he
Okay.
and her work together a lot. I think they were so in Japan they'll do co-gendered tag teams, so male and female tag teams, and I think she was his partner for a long time. So, but yeah, I can't believe I forgot
She's
that match.
really good. Nia Jax did
Nyla Rose.
such a great job. Nia Rose, sorry. There was a Nia Jax.
Nia
wasn't
Jax
there?
was WWE for a while, and I think she's retired now. But
Yeah.
actually, she showed up at the Rumble.
Nia Rose was like the big people. Like I got to go back to WWE because I know
No,
the
that's
wrestlers
fine.
more. Even though I think if I get more and more into AEW, I'm probably gonna like it more, just like you. But I got to go back to those wrestlers because they're the ones I know. There's a lot of like big guys and big women that rely so much on their size to sell their character. She was selling the character in spite of the size.
Yep.
And I know that sounds kind of ridiculous, but there's guys like and I know you might not agree with me on this, Baron Corbin.
Yep.
He's one that very much relies on his size to sell his character. He doesn't really bring much to the table aside from his
Yeah,
size.
I agree. I think he's an awful
Okay, I
wrestler.
thought you might
No.
like him. So it's like, you see a big person like that, someone that tall, and sometimes they just lean too much on their height. She did not. She brought the first of all, she's an awesome heel.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's a villain. Even without the interference and crap, she just conveyed this evil kind of energy, which is what you want from your heel. Yeah, she really sold
Cool.
me on the character.
That's awesome.
So that was impressive because there's not a lot of big people could do it. Obviously, Big Show is one of the greatest. Undertaker, and in women's side, I would say like
Awesome Kong back in the day, and what Impact.
Awesome
Yep.
Kong. Those are ones that sold the character, didn't just sell their
Yeah.
height. So it's cool to see, and just the mix up would just seem like this doesn't make any sense, but it worked so well. And like you said, the failed times where she went to go pick her up, it's like that made sense.
Yeah.
It almost had a Hogan versus Andre Giant, but not really because Hogan was actually strong.
Yeah.
And she's the skinny little thing. I mean, even her costume
Yep.
conveys this like K-pop or J-pop
Oh, yeah.
star, like kind of the idols, as they put it in Japan.
Yeah, I think she's. I want to say she's super young. I think she's only like 22 or 23 years old.
She looked
Yeah,
young.
and
She looked very young.
I believe I might have misheard it, but I believe this is her 1,000 or close to her 1,000th wrestling match. So she's been doing it since like the age of 9 or something ridiculous. Because she started
Well,
really
yeah, they
young
allow
in Japan.
that in Japan. Yeah. I think you're considered an adult 13 in Japan or something like that. So yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Except maybe for one or two matches, I've never really taken an interest in New Japan Wrestling or any of the other organizations out there. I feel like I should because I know I'm probably missing out on a lot of great matches.
Really good stuff.
I've come to appreciate the talent coming out of there. Before I lapsed, Shinsuke.
Yep.
And Asuka is probably still my favorite female wrestler. And I have to throw this in. We'll do it when we talk about the WWE stuff. But yeah, you guys actually convinced me to go back and rewatch Elimination Chamber after I said I didn't like it, and I actually found some stuff that I really liked.
What made you go back and rewatch it? Just talking to us on the phone, or
just listening to you guys go through this stuff? I realized that I probably didn't give it my full attention, so I was like, okay. And the women's match, the women's Elimination Chamber, was some of the best wrestling I've seen in a long time. That was a hell of a match. Raquel Rodriguez, I feel like, is not ready for prime time.
Yep, she's green. They've just recently pulled her up from NXT.
Yeah.
And then there's somebody else in that match that I thought, Carmella. She's gotten a lot better.
I don't like Carmella.
Yeah, she's
I
gotten a lot better.
I still don't like her.
Yeah, but yeah, some of the stuff with Asuka.
She feels like a throwback. She feels like a throwback to the old days of the women's division when they didn't really have the wrestling skill, and it was all scantily clad stuff to sell. Sex, basically.
I remember
that's all it was.
You texted me that you didn't enjoy the Elimination Chamber men's match, I think is what you said when you texted me. Or no, you did enjoy that. You didn't enjoy the Roman.
I didn't like the Bloodline stuff. I thought that match was so predictable. I still feel that way, even after listening to you guys. Everything about that match, both the technical skill, the actual moves and stuff, the storyline stuff, everything, I knew how it was going to go before the match even started.
I think we all did. The one thing I will say, just as we're talking about that one, about that match that was impressive to me is that, yes, we all kind of knew it was going, but you talk about character work, right? Like you mentioned Nia Jax. See, you got me doing it. Nyla Rose. You mentioned her character work, and I thought as much as Roman Reigns has come, I thought his character work in that match was really good. He did a good job of torturing Sami Zayn. He did a good job of putting him in front of his family. So I thought that part of it was really interesting. But yeah, so we can roll right into SmackDown. I appreciated SmackDown. It's sad because SmackDown wasn't that good, but I actually think it's probably going to be my show of the week. There were some decent matches on it. A couple things stuck out. The promo. So I wasn't a big fan of the 5-way at the beginning, especially the way they ended it.
I'm never a fan of those.
Yeah, because to me, you've got people waiting outside that are selling for a lot longer than they normally would sell just to set up things. And that part just annoys me sometimes. And I didn't like the fact that it ended with leading into what's going to be a triple threat, because to me, that defeats the purpose. I don't know. That's just part of the WWE booking. So I have to get over that, or the way that sports entertainment does it. And then there was the only other thing that I really, really liked. I liked parts of that match. And then I really liked the end. Or I liked the Uso promo, which I think you said you weren't able to see. So I'll just do a quick rundown of it. So the Usos come out, and Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso are in the ring, and Jay's talking about Sami Zayn, and he's saying the reason he turned on Sami Zayn is because he had to. Not that he wanted to, but it's blood. He said, if your sister or your brother calls you up and they can't afford their phone bill, are you going to pay it, or are you just going to let them suffer? And he went on. It was a damn good promo, but at the same time, it's definitely forwarding that storyline, because of the fact that now he's saying he never said he wanted to do it. He said he had to do it. So now I'm just waiting for Roman to come in and go, what do you mean you had to? Like, you didn't want to? You didn't want to stick up for the family? I appreciated that promo. And then the end, the match where they're beating Sammy down, and Cody comes, or they're beating the beat down, and then Cody and Sammy kind of, setting up what we know is going to be the tag team match coming in the future. So I appreciated parts of SmackDown, but again, the parts I appreciated are Cody and the Bloodline stuff, and it's a 2-hour show, and just like on Raw, it's a 3-hour show, and that only accounts for a small portion of it. So as far as all the shows this week, I don't know, man. Wrestling this week was just rough in general.
It was. Yeah, SmackDown, this was definitely one of those weeks where it was 100% sports entertainment.
Oh, yeah.
There was no wrestling. The whole 2 hours, not a single bit of wrestling. It was very disappointing. Like, the whole thing was just... I was like...
bullshit Charlotte Flair match. Even though I got to see Rhea Ripley, and I always appreciate that. That always makes my highlight streams, but...
Yeah.
And Jared and I have talked about... Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, the Rey Mysterio stuff. That made me mad. They would not let the man speak. He knows how to cut a damn promo. God, he is so experienced.
The thing about that drove me nuts was why when they're introing him and they're talking about him being inducted to Hall of Fame, did everybody talk in the past tense like he was dead or retired? Like, he was the greatest of this, and he did. I'm like, he's still an active member of the roster. That bothered me. And then, like, I saw it a mile away when he got in the ring to accept. Like, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a Dominic thing, setting up the Phantasmo stuff, and which I'm okay with. Like, obviously the blow off match at WrestleMania between him and his son is going to be amazing. I think I do enjoy some of the Dominic stuff because he's so terrible, and they just play into that. Like that's part of why he's hated so much. Is just he's so bad at everything. Yeah, it was a disappointing week altogether for me. You didn't watch Dynamite, and Jared and I kind of covered it a little bit. So there were parts of Dynamite I liked. I understood where they were going, but there was a lot of disappointment stuff. And I think just from watching Revolution, which I need to find a way for you to watch that pay-per-view, probably one of the best pay-per-views I have ever seen.
Finding the episodes in any capacity is impossible.
Yeah, I had a hard time when I didn't have cable for a while too. It took me some time to find a way to watch them, and then finally we just got Xfinity. It's part of our internet package. We got free cable with it for a while, so
yeah.
But now that we do this, I can actually write it off. So because it's part of my job now.
That's true.
It's part of my job. That pay-per-view is so good, man. If you liked the wrestling in the Elimination Chamber, check out Revolution. I wanted to go back to Elimination Chamber because you mentioned it. I think and actually the men's Elimination Chamber, Jared and I recorded the other day. The men's is on my top 5 matches for the first quarter. The men's, just particularly the part in the beginning with Seth Rollins and Johnny Gargano. Those guys, the mat wrestling, the combinations, then the high spots, and then just their interactions through the whole thing. The when they're sitting on the top of the cage resting together, and then they turn on each other, and he looks like he's going to powerbomb off, and he ends up flipping over. Oh man, it was a great match. It was very well structured and everything.
I mean, there were some elements I liked. I did like you guys pointed out the thing where they did it where I think it was Johnny Gargano and oh god, what was it? When he was standing behind him, when one of the guys went back to hide in the chamber.
Yeah, Austin Theory, and then Seth Rollins popped up behind him and just opened the other door from behind him. Yeah,
I think Johnny Gargano was on the other side, like taunting him, and then he just went pointed. Yeah, that was funny. That was some good stuff. That was great playing off each other. I enjoyed that. There were elements of the match that I enjoyed, but overall, I really didn't like it. And the ending sucks so bad.
See, Jared hated the ending too. I actually didn't mind it, which is weird for me because I usually don't like gimmicky, dumb endings. And I think one of the things I liked about it is because Jared got so worked up because he thought Montez Ford was really hurt. And I'm like, dude, he's working you. He's not really hurt. But then I started going, well, maybe he is. And then when Logan Paul came out, I'm like, oh, it's definitely a work. And as much as I hate Logan Paul as a person, good God, he's really good in the ring. And I think that match that they're going to have at WrestleMania is going to be amazing.
I can't stand Brock Lesnar or Bobby Lashley. Seeing the two of them go together was horrible. Really, the highlight of that was honestly the women's. There was so much good wrestling in there. Raquel Rodriguez should still be in NXT. There was several things that I don't want to say she messed up, but you can tell she's very, very scared of hurting the other wrestlers. Like, that is her biggest fear. She's not afraid of getting hurt herself. She'll take the risks, but she's like
a little
soft.
And
you can see, you could see like the moments that they're not really supposed to show, like, are you ready?
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. Like, and then when she picked up, I think she picked up Natalia and was about to ram her into the corner, and like the last foot, she slowed down. It looked so stupid.
So it's funny that you catch that stuff because in AEW, and I'm curious if you'll catch it because Britt Baker is one of their top female stars. Awesome. She's great character and everything, but I get the same thing from her matches. And everybody raves about how she's so awesome. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't think she's a good wrestler. Like, she's very green, and it showed. Now she has leaps and bounds improved. And I can actually go back and tell you there's some really good matches. Her and Thunder Rosa did a lights out match. It was fantastic. But same thing, like every once in a while, there's like that stutter step in there. Like, should I go hard or not? And sometimes that it throws you off a little bit. Yeah, I saw some of that with Rodriguez. Now, I also know she was injured. Like, she had a bad shoulder injury. So I don't know if that kind of, she was worried that because she didn't have the full feeling in it. I don't know. But that's just part of that being green. And she'll work through that.
Yeah, she's just, You know,
it's funny. I haven't seen her on TV since then.
She could get better over time. I just think maybe they pulled her up a little too soon.
Could be.
She probably could have used a little more time in NXT, but it is what it is. She's there. It's WWE talent management. What can you say? The rest of that match, every other aspect of it was so great. I can't think of a moment I didn't like. I mean, there was some high flying stuff. There was technical mat stuff. There was the dirty stuff, the interference stuff. There was people working together to take people
Yep.
out. It was like everything you want from a big match like that was there.
Yep.
So, yeah, when I first watched it, I guess I really wasn't paying attention. I missed a lot of stuff. So when I went back and watched it, I was like, this was really
Yeah.
good. I dropped
Nah,
that bomb.
you're all right.
Damn it.
I'll beep it out.
But the Meds one, there were some good points. There was a lot of low points for me. The ending I thought was horrible. And then I told you
Yep.
about the main event. It's not that it was bad. It was just too predictable, and that's one of the things that kind of got me sick of wrestling. Why I fell off was the predictability. They keep reusing the same, and this is a WWE thing. They keep reusing the same storylines from 20 years ago. Like they're still doing the same stuff. Everything's just too predictable. They don't have any surprise story elements where you're like, oh my god, just none of
Right.
that. There are moments here and there. Has been some fun stuff that I've seen, especially with Bloodline. I haven't seen any great Cody stuff, but I also haven't been able to watch the
Yeah.
episodes. So the last two pay-per-views, I don't think he really got a
Nope.
chance to shine.
Yeah, he didn't have any promo work. I don't even think he had
Yeah.
matches other than the Rumble where he popped out.
I'm looking forward to him in
Oof.
WrestleMania. I think he's going to have a real big chance to shine there. And I really wish I could see his episodic work because I can tell just by watching him in there, he has changed so
you have no
much
idea.
since the Stardust days and the what was it, Legends days and all
Yep.
that stuff. He has improved so much. I love the honoring his dad while still not like getting caught up with the American Dream stuff and still being the American Nightmare. And there's just a lot of really good things I can see, and I feel like I'm missing a lot of stuff.
If you can find it, go watch his. There was a match that he did with Chad Gable on Raw 2 weeks ago. It's in my top 5 so far. It was freaking amazing. One of the best matches I've seen WWE put on regular Raw TV in I don't know how long. And it's one of those that I can tell that they are letting Cody be Cody. So it was really good.
Yeah. Yep. I'm gonna try to get caught up on his storyline. It's kind of hard. But I'm looking forward to see what he does in WrestleMania for
Cool.
sure. And the Bloodline stuff, I like it. I was gonna ask you if you heard about what the Usos and their dad are trying to do.
No.
They want to bring Rikishi back.
Oh, okay.
And have him step up and challenge Roman.
As head of the table. That makes sense since The Rock
Yeah.
has backed out because it was supposed to be The Rock. So that's not
Yeah.
that's actually
Now
a good
I don't
idea.
know if since Vince is in charge again, I don't know if Vince is sold on that
That's
idea. He could be really
allegedly
weird
in
with certain.
charge.
Yeah, it's he could be weird about old
Yeah.
talent. Sometimes he favors them, and sometimes he has an old grudge against them, and he won't let them back. So who knows? It really depends on how much he truly is involved. But
I
that's
think
me.
he's definitely involved in some stuff though. I think this almost Brock Lesnar match is totally an old school Vince McMahon match.
Oh yeah, everything with Brock Lesnar. He loves
That's
Brock
gonna be my
Lesnar, and I
bathroom
can't
break
stand the
during
man.
Rumble or
I can't stand
WrestleMania.
him.
Yep.
But yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I am very much looking forward to WrestleMania. I think it's gonna be great. I wish I could see the build up, but unfortunately, I'm gonna have to miss it thanks to WWE not putting their episodes out
Yeah,
there.
that's interesting. I don't know why. I
but-
guess maybe because because of the partnership with USA and Fox, they can't put them on Peacock right away.
I think possibly that, but I think it also had a lot to do with the leftover from the Hulu deal you and I were talking
Maybe.
about. How they used to have their live episodes on Hulu. I think that contract expired, and now they don't have a place to put them. So they're trying to negotiate things with Fox and USA so they can figure out whether or not they can put them on Peacock or whether they have to use Fox's streaming service, which nobody uses.
I didn't even know they had one.
And yeah, USA I think uses Hulu. So they're kind of in a weird spot, I think, for that stuff. So I think that's why we're not going to be able to see it for a while. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. As big as they are, you think this wouldn't be a problem, but I think they're just kind of caught in the middle of contracts.
Could be.
Contract negotiations.
Yeah, and I know TV rights are coming up due this year for them too, so it might be part of their bargaining and negotiations going on right now. But that being said, so final verdict, for Friday's wrestling. Did you like it? So we do beard ratings, so it's up to you.
Yeah, I know. How many do you go to? 5 beers?
Yep. 1 to 5.
Okay. I'm gonna give them both 2 beers.
Yep. That's fair.
They were both just so mediocre. Yep. But as far as my winner, I gotta go with Rampage because
the Nyla Rose.
SmackDown was
Yeah.
boring. Now I will give this my opinion is slightly tainted because I didn't get to see the promos because the person who put together the highlight reels cut out a lot of the promos. So there may be some good stuff in SmackDown that I missed, but that as far as it comes to the matches, that women's match in Rampage takes the cake,
Cool.
hands down for the
All
week.
right, awesome. Yeah, mine. I went Rampage about 2.5, and I think I went 2.5 on both. To be honest with you, so all week this week it's been 2.5 beards for me on every show. So it's hard to pick a winner.
Ugh.
But like you said, that I think match of the week is probably the Nyla Rose Rio match. So then you've convinced me because I'd forgotten. I think that's probably actually my show for the week too, just because that match was so good and did so well. And then hearing someone who hasn't watched wrestling in a while, doesn't know the background of either one of those characters to come in and really enjoy it, that says a lot for both workers. So
Yeah,
fantastic.
they are. I would definitely say two of the best female wrestlers out there right now.
So if you want to watch,
and that's saying a lot because there's a lot of really good
Yep.
female wrestlers right now in both organizations.
if you want to watch a lot of more of Nyla Rose's stuff, AEW Dark and Dark Elevation, she does a lot of that stuff, and they're all free on YouTube. So you can
cool.
go through. So those are two shows on that AEW does on YouTube specifically. So they have two YouTube show on their channel. And it's AEW and AEW Dark. If you look at some of the older ones, you'll see Edie and I and Maddie in the background on a lot of them because when they were doing here at Daily's Place, we were usually ringside or on the camera side.
That's cool.
Yeah, so if you wanted to watch some of their stuff, there's a lot, and there are dark matches, right? So that's why they're there. They're usually their enhancement talents, but they do some, like Kenny Omega's worked them a few times, so there are some things out that are pretty good. There was a match with Athena and I should know her name because it made headlines, but everybody's really upset, and it's a really good hard hitting match that's worth checking out. Well, we're gonna wrap it up there because I know you got dinner to go and wedding plans and all that other stuff to do. So I want to thank all of our listeners. We're almost at 3,500 downloads in a little over a month, which is amazing. We appreciate everybody listening. I want to thank my special guest, the Tickler from Georgia, for coming in. And he hates that name, by the way. But hey,
never gonna get rid of that.
Hey, I'm never gonna get rid of Jay Tilly either, and I'm not a fan of that. But it is what it is. But you guys know the deal. Appreciate you listening. Please, if you're not already, follow us on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram at No Shave Man Cave. Like, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts from. iTunes, give us that 5-star rating and a comment that helps us climb up those charts and get heard by more and more people. Leave us a comment on Twitter what you guys want to hear and don't hear. Jared, do you have any finishing moves or closing comments you would like to make before I give my attempt at giving Jared's finisher?
I would say stay tuned for our episode on the 22nd of this month, where we're going to discuss some more mental health stuff. I will be on again. I'm looking forward to it, and keep hope alive for both WWE and AEW getting their streaming act together.
Yes, sir. All right, as ElliJar would say, thank you guys very much. Thank you, ACAST, for hosting us. Thank you, New York City Podcast Network. By the way, check them out. They actually just selected 2 of our episodes as their staff picks, so that's pretty cool. They have like over 400,000 or 45,000, or actually it might be 400,000 different episodes on podcasts on there. 800 and something podcasts. Pretty cool. Biggest podcast network on the internet right now, going worldwide. And 2 of our shows, our bourbon and cigar review one, and then I believe it was one of our Rampage ones, got selected as their staff picks. So really cool. Go check them out. Go follow it. There's a lot of good podcasts on there. There's other stuff you want to find. Check them out. It's pretty cool. Thank you to them. And until next time, we will see you on the floor.
You've been listening to the No Shave Man Cave.
If it's pro wrestling, we're talking about it. Unless we see something shiny and wander off into the woods. If you hang around long enough, we'll eventually come back. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Fire off your comments and be sure to leave us a 5-star rating, and we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hit us up on Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok at No Shave Men Cave. Y'all be cool, and we'll see you next time on the No Shave Men Cave.